Hello students, let's begin with a new chapter which is human physiology. In this human physiology we will discuss about the different topics such as digestion and absorption. In this digestion and absorption topic we will discuss about the overall functioning of a digestive system in an adult human being, because this chapter is from human physiology. So let's begin with the topic digestion. Digestion is an enzymatic conversion of complex food substances to simple absorbable forms in the alimentary canal. Digestive system includes alimentary canal, digestive glands or associated glands. Now let's understand first the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal begins with mouth and ends with anus. Mouth leads to buccal cavity or oral cavity. Oral cavity has teeth and muscular tongue. Each tooth embedded in a socket of jawbone, such attachment called thecodont. Diphyodont. Human has two sets of teeth in their lifetime. First is milk teeth or deciduous teeth. Second is permanent teeth. Heterodont. Teeth are of unequal shape and size, such as incisor, canine, premolar and molar. Dental formula. The arrangement of teeth in each half of the upper jaw and lower jaw forms the dental formula. Dental formula of human adult is 2, 1, 2, 3 upon 2, 1, 2, 3 into 2, that is equivalent to 32. The hard chewing surface of the teeth made up of enamel. The tongue is a freely movable muscular organ attached to the floor of the oral cavity by the frenulum. The upper surface of tongue has a small projection called papillae, some of which bears taste buds. The oral cavity leads into a short pharynx which serves as a common passage for food and air. Esophagus and the trachea opens into the pharynx. Opening of windpipe or trachea called glottis, and that of esophagus is called gullet. The cartilaginous epiglottis prevents the entry of food into the glottis during swallowing. Esophagus connects pharynx with stomach. Opening of esophagus is regulated by gastroesophageal sphincter. Now let's understand the stomach. The stomach has three parts. First part is upper part, that is cardiac, into which esophagus opens. The middle part, which is filled with air filled portion of stomach, that is the fundus. Pyloric portion opens into the small intestine. This pyloric portion opens into the small intestine. Small intestine distinguished into three parts: duodenum, U-shaped first part; jejunum, longer coiled middle portion; ileum, highly coiled posterior portion. The opening of stomach into the duodenum is guarded by pyloric sphincter. Large intestine consists of three parts, that is cecum, colon and rectum. Cecum is a small blind sac which hosts some symbiotic microorganisms. Cecum has a finger-like blind tubular projection called vermiform appendix. The cecum opens into colon, which has three distinct parts, that is ascending colon, transverse colon and descending colon. The descending colon opens into rectum, which opens to out through anus. Now, histological of alimentary canal. Alimentary canal forms esophagus to rectum, has 4 layers, that is serosa, muscularis, submucosa and mucosa. Serosa is the outermost layer and is made up of a thin mesothelium and some connective tissues. Muscularis is formed by smooth muscles arranged outer longitudinal and inner circular layers. Submucosa is formed by loose connective tissues containing nerves, blood and lymph vessels. Mucosa is the innermost layer made of endothelium. Mucosa forms irregular folds in the stomach and small finger-like folding called villi in the small intestine. The cells lining the villi produce numerous microscopic projections called microvilli, giving a brush border appearance. These modifications increase the surface area for absorption. Villi are supplied with a network of capillaries and a central lymphatic vessel called lacteal. Epithelial cells of mucosa contain secretory cells which secretes digestive enzymes. Mucosa also forms glands in the stomach, gastric gland, that is the gastric gland. Mucosa forms crypts in between the bases of villi in the intestine called crypts or Limburg-Kuhan. Digestive glands. The digestive glands associated with the alimentary canal includes salivary gland, liver and pancreas. There are 3 pairs of salivary gland present in the buccal cavity, that is parotid gland, which is below internal ear. Second is submaxillary or submandibular, which is below lower jaw. Sublingual, below tongue. All salivary glands produce saliva into the buccal cavity. Now, liver. Liver is the largest gland of the body, weighing about 1.2 to 1.5 kg in adult. Located below diaphragm and has 2 lobes. Structural and functional unit of liver is the hepatic lobules. Hepatic lobules consist of hepatic cells arranged in the form of cords. Each lobule is covered by a thin connective tissue sheath called Gleason's capsule. The bile secreted by the hepatic cells passes through the hepatic ducts and stored in the gallbladder in concentrated form. Bile from the gallbladder is transported by cystic duct. Cystic duct along with hepatic duct forms the common bile duct. Bile duct joined with pancreatic duct to form hepatopancreatic duct, which opens into the duodenum. Hepatopancreatic has a swelling portion called ampulla of water. The opening is guarded by sphincter of Oddi. Now, the second organ is pancreas. Pancreas is a compound exocrine gland, both exocrine and endocrine in nature. Pancreas is a compound exocrine gland, elongated organ situated between the limbs of U-shaped duodenum. The exocrine acinous cells secrete pancreatic juice containing enzymes. The endocrine islets of Langerhans secretes hormones like insulin and glucagon, which is required for the transfer of glucose in cells. Now, digestion of food. Let's see how food is digested. Digestion is accomplished by mechanical and chemical process. In the buccal cavity performs two major functions. First is mastication of food, facilitation of swallowing. This is the second function. The teeth and tongue, with the help of saliva, masticate and mix up the food. The saliva composed of electrolytes such as sodium, potassium, chlorine and bicarbonate. Enzyme salivary amylase or ptyalin. These are the enzymes such as salivary amylase or ptyalin, and the most important thing is lysozyme. This lysozyme kills the bacteria. Now, about 30% of starch is hydrolyzed into disaccharide, that is maltose, by salivary amylase in optimal pH, that is of 6.8. Lysozyme acts as antibacterial agent, preventing infections. Mucus in the saliva helps in lubricating and adhering the masticated food particle into a bolus. The bolus is then passed into esophagus through pharynx by swallowing or deglutition. The bolus is then passed into esophagus through pharynx by swallowing or deglutition. Now, by peristalsis, the bolus from the esophagus passed into the stomach. Peristalsis is a motion which passes the bolus from the esophagus into the stomach. Now, in the stomach, the mucosa of stomach has gastric glands. Gastric glands have three major types of cells, namely mucus neck cells, which secretes mucus, peptic or chief or zymogen cells. This secretes proenzymes pepsinogen, parietal or oxyntic cells. This parietal or oxyntic cells secretes HCl and Cassell's intrinsic factor. These factors are essential for absorption of vitamin B12. The stomach stores the food for 4 to 5 hours. The food mixed with the acidic gastric juice and form chyme. Pepsinogen converted into active pepsin in presence of HCl. Active pepsin converts proteins into protease and peptones, that is peptides. Mucus and bicarbonate ions play important role in lubrication and protection of mucosal epithelium from excoriation of HCl and active enzymes. HCl provides the acidic pH of stomach, that is of around 1.8. HCl provides the acidic pH of stomach, which is of 1.8. Rennin is an enzyme present in gastric juice, helps in digestion of proteins. This rennin is actually present in a child up to age of 8 years. Then after, its quantity gets decreased. Now, a small amount of lipases are present in gastric juice, helps in digestion of fats. Now, for the digestion of protein, pepsin enzyme is required, which convert protein into proteases plus peptones. In milk, casinogen, rennin, solid casein, curd, pepsin or peptone, fat, lipase or fatty acids. In the intestine, important secretion added to the intestine during digestion. In the intestine, important secretion added to the intestine during digestion. These are bile juice, pancreatic juice, intestinal juice or succus entericus. The pancreatic juice contain following enzymes: trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, procarboxypeptidase, amylases, lipases, nucleases. Trypsinogen is activated by an enzyme enterokinase secreted by intestinal mucosa into active trypsin. Active trypsin activates other enzymes in the pancreatic juice in the intestine. The bile released into the duodenum contains bile pigments, which is bilirubin and biliverdin, bile salts, which is bicarbonate, taurocolate, glycolate, cholesterol and phospholipids. Bile salts helps in emulsification of fat, that is break down fats into small micelles. Bile also activates lipases. The intestinal mucosa contains goblet cells which secretes mucus. The secretion of brush border cells of intestinal mucosa and the goblet cells constitute the intestinal juice or succus entericus. The intestinal juice contains variety of enzymes: disaccharidases, maltase, lactase and invertase, dipeptidases, lipases and nucleosidases. Submucosal glands, Brunner's glands, also secrete alkaline fluid to counteract acidic chyme before secretion of bile and pancreatic juice. Now let's we understand the digestion in a small intestine. Liver secretes bile, fat by emulsification, pancreatic juice contains trypsin, proteases and peptones secreted by trypsin, digested by trypsin, tri and dipeptides, starch and glycogen digested by amylase into maltose, emulsified fats digested by fatty acids and glycerols, maltose digested by maltase into glucose, polypeptides digested by carboxypeptidase into tri and dipeptides, nucleic acids, nucleases, nucleotides plus nucleosides. Functions of succus entericus. Dipeptidases, amino acids, maltose digested by maltase into glucose and glucose, lactose digested by lactase into glucose and galactose, sucrose digested by sucrase into glucose plus fructose, nucleotides, nucleotidases, nucleosides and nucleosides digested by nucleotidases into sugars plus bases, di and monoglycerides digested by lipases into fatty acids and glycerol. Absorption of digested products. Absorption is the process by which the end product of digestion passes through the intestinal mucosa into the blood or lymph. Absorption is carried out by passive, active, or facilitated transport mechanism. Glucose, amino acids, and electrolytes are absorbed by simple diffusion into the blood in the concentration gradient. Fructose and some amino acids absorbed with the help of carrier ions like Na+. This is called facilitated diffusion. Active transport of digested food and electrolytes takes place against the concentration gradients, hence require energy. Absorption of fatty acid and glycerol. Fatty acids and glycerol, being insoluble, cannot be absorbed into blood. They are transported into mucosal epithelium and triglycerides are formed. Triglycerides are covered by a protein coat to form small fat globules called chylomicron, which are incorporated into the lacteal in the villi. These lymphatic vessels ultimately release the absorbed substances into the bloodstream later on. Assimilation and egestion. The absorbed substances finally reach the tissues which utilize them for their activities. This process is called assimilation. The digestive waste solidifies into coherent feces in the rectum and removed to outside periodically by the process called defecation. Disorders of digestive system. The disorders of digestive system are just such as jaundice. Affected organ by jaundice is the liver. Skin and eyes turn yellow due to deposition of bile pigments. Vomiting. Ejection of stomach contents through the mouth. It is controlled by the vomit center in the medulla oblongata. A feeling of nausea precedes vomiting. Diarrhea. Abnormal frequency of bowel movement and increased liquidity of the fecal discharge. It reduces the absorption of food. Constipation. The feces are retained in the rectum as the bowel movements occurs irregularly. Indigestion. The food is not properly digested, leading to a feeling of fullness. Causes are inadequate enzymes secretion, anxiety, food poisoning, overeating and spicy food. So this is the overall information about the digestive system, and in later class we will discuss about the next chapter. So please don't forget to share this video among your friends. Thanks and goodbye.